2001. I'm a sociologist, and I did my master and my PhD in history of art. And I deal a lot with, let's call, relation between sociology and art history. But actually, as a two discipline, I don't like them. But I try to find out academically as two discipline, or practice outside as a knowledge of those two disciplines. I try to find out some of the thresholds of those two knowledge, two discipline. I want to talk a bit about Istanbul, the city, and how artists are using the city as a form. How they get affected by the city, and what kind of practice they are creating. And I want to also speak about some neighborhood activities, what is going on. So it will be like a little bit, I will try to combine two issues.
Control L. Control L, Alan. Control L.
Yeah, this is, there are some very general information. It's an old city, and it has been always as a place of transit, in means of economy, means of production of socials and migration, cultural identities. It has several historical periods, but for example, in the 60s, in the 50s, and the 60s, late 50s, the city received a lot of immigrants from outside of Istanbul, from the country, and this was more for sake of working, that the Anatolian citizens moved to Istanbul to begin to work in a city which was a kind of new industrial city in the 50s and the 60s. We have the second period of, for example, in the late 80s or beginning of 90s. Again, we can mark the city as a transit space that was affected by the transit migration, mostly illegal migration, illegal refugees. And of course there's also a clash, cultural identity between the West and East. And of course a national ideology is being constructed through always pursuing the West, or trying to catch the West, and trying to be European, but also being stuck in other identities of cultures of Middle East and Southern Mediterranean and East Bloc, Eastern geographies. And it's also, of course, about the clash of values, or several different values exist in a society. Istanbul could be taken as a small example of the whole country. As an urban space, how those clashes and values are existing. I will give here's a kind of very short, it's very short history, but I think you need to know, which is very important. I talked about the migration from Anatolia in the 60s, And then also you shouldn't forget the economical transformation, the 70s, how the city turns slowly from the industrial city that was established with the new nation. I mean, transformation from Ottoman Empire to nation states, also as a geography, also as a capital, also as a society, people themselves. And in the 70s, it began slowly to turn into a service city. In the 1990s, we can say that the city was surely transformed into a self-service city. The economy of the city stands on illegal economy mainly, 50%, and service economy. I cannot call it anymore, or we cannot call it anymore, an industrial city. The 80s military intervention is mainly supported by IMF, World Bank, like other military interventions, like for example in Latin America, kind of similar experience. And we see a very rapid neoliberal transformation of the city. A lot of global investors have been introduced in the city, and it affected also the urban landscape. Some district appeared as a skyscraper, or we call New Manhattan district. And on the other side, the district of 60s migrant places, which were used to build as an illegal self-made housings, remained as now as the post-Gecekondu district. Gecekondu means houses that are built in one night. This is the literal translation. So it is not literal, but it happens like that. You can compare with shanty house or slums, but it's not the same. And most of the district now, who used to be in the periphery side of the city, are, of course, the city expanded. Now they are in the centers. They became centers and some of the main districts in the city. After 2000, we see a lot of gate communities. The gate communities are, in the late 90s, it was in the outside of the city, I mean, outskirts of the city. It was built as private housings, walled, gated, mainly serving for higher middle class and higher class people. And nowadays we see some gate communities that just since last year they're going back to the city center. So we have some city gate communities in the city center, and we see some gate communities or very heterogeneous types of different kind of economical class and different kind of societies, like Islamic bourgeoisie has now gate communities, for example, or some lower middle class migrants now are middle class, main middle class society. They are moving to gate communities. So it's like the same. You have more money, and then you move to here to skyscrapers, like I saw in Anyang. But in Istanbul, you move to gated communities.
This is also gated community.
Yeah, it's here also. Yeah. We didn't see inside.
Like high-rise are the gated communities.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't see inside, but it's similar. We have state-led gentrification. State-led means the municipality, supported by government and ministry, the local municipality establish gentrification or urban renewal projects. That means